Gamesthetic, episode 145. Max Light with Sparky 3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're listening or watching this podcast. No Zach here with us today. He's had some stuff pop up with work, but I do have John here in studio. John, how you doing? How you feeling? He's currently trying to mess with his fantasy app right now.
I'm doing okay. I'm very fucking confused.
I threw out a Hail Mary to him to join a terrible football show fantasy league, and he said sure. So he's just kind of figuring it out. He's winging it. So shout out to Terrible Football Show. Make sure to check that out if you're a football fan. We are live every single Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But other than being confused, John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right, dude. There's so many levels of authorization.
I agree.
What do you mean?
He's having a rough time. He's having a rough time figuring it out right now, trying to just simply log into the app. Shout out to Yahoo Fantasy, man, because it will randomly log you out every once in a while. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But no, today we will be chatting more about Starfield. I've got a chance to play a little bit more, not as much as I wanted to. It's been a very busy week this week. John did get to play it, so going to hear his thoughts and just kind of continue the conversation in general. Payday 3 had its open beta, right? I think it was open beta.
Technical test.
Technical test.
This was the second test that they were doing. It's basically a stress test where anybody can gain access to it, but they are requesting at specific times to try to overload the server.
Okay.
They have times listed, I think, on their website, and because I downloaded on Steam, and they have times where they're requesting everybody log in and try to play it so we can see if our servers can handle it.
Hey, that's good. That's a good mindset, though. That's good business right there. So we're gonna chat. He's gonna chat a little bit about Payday 3. We got some Nintendo Direct rumors and leaks I'll throw out there that popped out over this last week. Potentially Nintendo Direct next week. That seems to be the case. So we'll take a look at that. Switch 2 stuff. There's been some Switch 2 stuff come out from Gamescom. As well as just a general kind of question here of when is the next state of play going to be? We've heard some rumors in the past that there could be a state of play in September, and it could be the big one because they held back on the last one or some shit. So going to kind of touch on that. Plus some other interesting things that's popped out in the gaming world involving potential release date for GTA 6. So that's something to throw out there. Red Dead Redemption 3. So.
I just got told 6 times that I was not authorized to sign into this because it wasn't on there. I forced close the app and then it worked.
Yahoo Fantasy, man.
Sorry, we started talking about this like 2 seconds before we started, so I was very distracted trying to figure it out.
Hey, I admire the determination to figure it out, and I appreciate the hell out of you for being in the league, even though you don't know, don't really follow anything currently in the NFL except loosely. So I appreciate you for being in the fantasy league. Hey, there's a cash prize and there's a trophy on the line. That trophy could be yours, John.
Hey, when you ask me like a third time if I'm interested in it, I assume things have gone bad and you need someone.
That is right. Things were good. Things were fine. And then it's just all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, God, I fucking need more people now all of a sudden. Literally, like, the day before we draft. And, like, the day we draft.
I was going to say the day before, bitch. You text me, like, 6 hours before.
Well, no, it was the day before is when I found out it's like, okay, we need more people. And I immediately panicked and spent, like, that evening and the next day trying to fill it out. So, man, it's been a mess.
But it is what it is. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But, like I said, there's a trophy in the line. So, shout out to that. We got a big-ass trophy in here. Shane won. I know this is not a football podcast, but we do have a very nice trophy that you could win.
How sad is it going to be if I do win?
Hey, you're one of the 2 people that got an A+ draft rating. Yeah. I got a D, and I had a paragraph from Yahoo trashing my team and saying he went a little too hard on the name Trash Champs, and I'm like, wow. I will say, I mean, I did make some dumb picks, especially my number 1 overall. I openly knew it was stupid. I did it in memory of a former fantasy league member I used to play with that passed away, and he did that pick twice. I did it in memory of him. But I think my team's okay. But if you win, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, just like we'll figure out our way through this episode here today. With everything we got to chat about, because there's some interesting things to touch on, besides our main talking points. Like I mentioned, GTA 6 potential release date. We'll touch on that here in a little bit. That's actually kind of interesting, especially because the audio leak that's in referencing that got copyright struck, so it's pretty interesting. Red Dead Redemption 3 was confirmed, but not by Rockstar. So that we'll touch on that here in a little bit too. So we got some interesting things. Final Fantasy getting some expansions. We'll touch on that. It'll be a good time. But we will kick things off with Starfield. So how much time have you put into Starfield? Did you start playing it Tuesday night or Wednesday night? Because it went live about like 8:00 Tuesday night. So I didn't know when you got the chance to start it.
I don't remember.
All right, fair enough.
I've been off this week, so all my days are kind of blurring together.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, fair enough.
I've got about 10 to 12 hours in, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it's a Bethesda game in space.
Thank you.
It is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Thank you. Because that was my big question
not
for you.
Entirely what I thought it was going to be.
Okay. Because that was my big question for you is like, do you view it as a generation-defining game? Because like,
No.
like I said last week, I don't think it is as of now.
No, I never did.
Well, I know you never did, but now that you've played it.
No, it's if you like the standard Bethesda formula,
you're going to enjoy this game. You'll enjoy the shit out of it.
You will enjoy the game. And the only difference is instead of it being a fantasy setting or an apocalyptic setting, it's in space. Yeah. And it is heavy sci-fi. It is not like if you haven't played it and you're hoping there's some sort of like fantasy elements or anything like that, no, it's strictly sci-fi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's a little less than I would have.
Ooh, really?
Thought it was. I mean, if that's purely.
And you say it's less than you thought it was, and you were the most critical of this game. So
well, I never thought it was going to be the big thing everybody said, like they kept trying to say it was going to be. And what I mean by it was less than I thought it was going to be is. So we know that Bethesda, like the main story, several planets, everything to do with like. Everything they handcrafted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm under the assumption that everywhere you go based off of the main story or like side stories and like factions and stuff like that is they had a hand in it. They did it.
Yeah.
So far, like, because I haven't gone to a whole bunch of different planets or anything like that. But so far, I mean, all the ones that I have gone to, I mean, they're the same. It's you go to it. So far, all my quests that I've gone to planets for, it's like go to the planet and either go to this research facility overrun by pirates, or go to this mine overrun by pirates. That's basically been what it is. It's like I'm either fighting through a facility, like fighting against like. Whether it be like the space pirates or bandits or like some other faction that's there to try to take over or something like that, or I'm fighting my way through a mine. So far, that's been like my experience there. I will say one thing that I do prefer is I like the way they did their skills.
Okay,
for the most part,
I do agree with you on that. I actually like the skill trees and stuff.
For the most part, I kind of wish that the perks that you get for leveling up your skills were a little more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because so far, the only ones that seem interesting are the 4th tier of each perk. And that's only on some of them. And for the skills, you have 5 different skill trees that each have, I think, 5 levels to them. And like you have to pick 3 different skills. In like for combat, you'd have to pick 3 different combat skills before you could progress to the next tier of combat skills. And at least for the combat ones, all they do is increase damage or increase combat capabilities because there's like lasers, which you get it, and then as you level up the skill, you basically just get kills with lasers, and your lasers do more damage. The final perk on it is I haven't gotten it, but it at least seems more interesting, which is a chance to light people on fire if you hit them with a laser.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other ones, like there's like pistol, ballistic, shotgun, heavy. All of those are just pretty much increase damage, and then towards the end, it's like, okay, well, if you get a kill or a reload or something like this, you get a perk, or like you get a additional thing that lasts for a few seconds to help you out in combat a little bit more. Some of the other ones are actually more interesting, like the basic like weightlifter one to give you more, like more carrying capacity.
The jetpack one to allow you to use the jetpack.
I haven't even done that yet.
Yeah, it's one of the first skills in one of the skill trees.
Because it is the skill system is one that is both. I do enjoy. I like the way that it works, where you pick a skill, and you cannot level up the skill anymore, even if you have the skill points for it, until you do the objective to be able to level it up. I like that idea because it makes you actually have to work for it, as opposed to, even if it's something minute like ballistics, use any ballistic weapon and get kills. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But it makes it feel like you've done something for putting more points into it, as opposed to being like, okay, I'm level 10, I'm going to put 5 points into ballistics and 5 points into like pistols or something.
It feels more like an IRL thing, where it's like you work hard for like something, to learn something, and you get better at it over time.
The idea is to use the you pick an ability or you pick a skill, and then you have to use the skill before you can level the skill up. Yeah. I like that idea.
I do too.
Like the weightlifting one is kind of funny for carrying capacity, because you get it and then you have to run so far, like actually sprint so far with 75 or 70% of your carrying capacity in your backpack. Yeah. Which is, I mean, it's very simple. It's something that's gonna happen naturally, but it's just a funny idea. It's like, okay, well, you want to carry more. What's a good way to do that? Well, you run around carrying more.
Yeah, no, what you're saying there is one of the big highlights that I definitely would say this game has, and that's they have a lot of attention to detail. Like all the stuff that you're saying that's like, the handcrafted content that they've talked about and everyone's talked about, like there's a lot of attention to detail, just like little things, how you do different things, and it's all stuff they really don't tell you. Besides skill tree stuff, yes, they do, but there's a lot of stuff in the game they don't tell you that's very like, just attention to detail. Like it feels more realistic.
One thing they do can tell you and kind of tell you over and over and over again at every opportunity.
What's that?
Fucking fast traveling.
Yeah, I know.
God damn. Load up the game. I get to what was it, New Atlantis or something?
New Atlantis, yeah.
Walk around there for a few minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to this person that it wants me to go talk to. And then before, like, I finish the conversation, and it's like, okay, now open up your here's how you open up your quests, and here's how it is there. And then it's immediately fast travel. You can fast travel. Yeah. You can do it here. I'm like, I want to explore a city. And then in the top left of the screen, it just says, you can fast travel to your ship. And I'm like, I know I could fast travel.
Thank you.
Fucking want to. It constantly makes you want to fast travel.
Yeah.
Which is, it's immediately a disappointment for this game, is how much it relies on fast traveling.
Yeah.
It takes you, it's like, what's the point of flying your ship around unless you're specifically like trying to do something? If it's faster to open up my menu, go to my quest, tell it, hit a button for it to plot a course for me, and then just travel that way.
So yeah, the space travel still is ungodly lackluster. Some follow-ups from last week when I was still very early. You can pretty much fly anywhere. It was Alana Pierce. She flew to fucking Pluto from Earth, and it took her 7 IRL hours. So the one thing, again, I do kind of like is I like how there is that realistic touch to it. But at the same time, this game, we're so far in the future. Can we not speed this up a little bit? Whenever it comes to the fast travel thing, so the one thing that kept running through my head when it came to this game relies so much on fast travel, it's something that you said when we have talked about Spider-Man in the past, where it's like, you have an incredible way of travel in a game if the game offers you fast travel and you never fucking use it. Because with Spider-Man, you can fast travel anywhere on the map, but who's going to do that? Fucking swing around and get there. I mean, it'd take you a little bit longer, but you're swinging. It's fun. And it's kind of the same thing with Starfield, where it's like the way to travel, we don't want to travel. We'll just fast travel.
I don't I don't fucking walk anywhere. I just fast travel around.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Me too. And like I said, the one thing that kept running through my head is what you said about Spider-Man. Is like you got a great way to get around when you don't use the fast travel mechanic.
Yeah. I don't know. The game. I'll preface this. It's not a bad game.
No, absolutely not.
It's a preference thing at this point because I can acknowledge the game. I mean, the game works. The game is there. People are enjoying the game.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing for me because you can probably you've had this feeling before where you play the game is fun, but when you close the game, you don't necessarily have the urge to play it again.
Yeah.
That is how I feel about Starfield.
That's actually how I feel too.
It's like that's how I feel about Starfield. That's not knocking the game necessarily. That could just very well be it's not my game right now.
Right.
But it's like it's also one of those where I kind of went into it expecting it to be a Bethesda game, found out it was a Bethesda game, and when it comes to Bethesda games, I am much more of a fan of their fantasy-based ones.
Yeah.
Or because like I haven't really played like Fallout or anything very much, but all of the Elder Scrolls I love.
Yep.
And this game, I don't dislike this game, but there are parts of the game that I'm like not a super big, like super massive fan of. And that a part of it is just the fact that, like I said, I don't like the fact that so far everywhere I've gone for doing missions, because I'm not just strictly doing the main mission. I've done a couple main mission quests. I've done some faction quests. I've done some side quests. And all of that, which all are kind of sending me all over the place. Couldn't fucking tell you where I've been because I'm not looking at the map to figure out where I'm going.
Right.
I'm just opening up the menu and fast traveling around because, I mean, that's kind of how that's what the game's telling me to do.
Yeah.
And also, flying around sucks.
Yeah.
At least at the beginning, it may get better the further you get in, like better ship parts and stuff you get. But at least at the beginning, flying around sucks.
Yeah. And also when it comes to just general exploring and stuff, like exploring, like let's say New Atlantis or some of the other like cities, like Neon and stuff like that, and maybe like surrounding areas, like while that could be pretty fun and stuff, like the actual like exploration that I feel like Bethesda games like really thrive on, I really don't feel like this game's got. Like I've been stopping at multiple planets to check out, and I really do feel like they're just all the same, but a different coat of paint.
That's
on
what
it.
I said. It's like
That's my opinion. I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that. That's how I feel.
Anytime I've gone to a planet, like you can open up the scanner and look around, and it'll tell you there's an objective over here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we don't know what it is, but it's over here. I've been running around and trying to go see what they are. They're not worth it so far.
Yeah, see, that's been me. I was playing a little bit earlier before the show, and I just stopped at a couple planets, and I'm just pick a random landing spot. I'm like, all right, let's check this one out. I will say one thing that I thought was kind of cool was like, on a single like temperate planet, whatever, like you can pick multiple landing spots and have vastly different environments. So that was cool because I stopped in one planet where it was like almost like kind of like plainsy, almost like a little bit of a rocky kind of desert vibe, kind of everything's dead. And it's like, oh, this is gross. And I picked another spot on that planet and it was like greenery. It was still like an open field with some random dead trees. It wasn't like a forest, but it was like more greenery. And I'm like, okay, well, at least it quickly changes depending on where I'm at on the planet. But yeah, I walked around for like 30, 45 minutes, just dicking around, and all I was really doing was scanning. I'd go to the unknown things and it's like, all right, yeah, this really wasn't worth my fucking time walking over here. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay. Also, I fucking hate the weapon system.
Oh, really?
The weapon system sucks.
Okay.
It's the same, but I have the same feeling with the weapon system. I don't know, not the modding system. I'm not talking about modding. I'm talking base weapons in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same problem with this game that I do with the Outer Worlds.
Okay.
Where it feels like it's like all it is you have the baseline, like here's your few different weapons. And then as you play, you get slightly higher tier versions of this exact same like series of weapons. There's more of them in this game. So it's like there may be 20 I'm guessing here. I've probably seen like 12 different weapons, but it's like so far all of the ones that I've seen. Granted, I'm not that far into the game, so I could be vastly wrong here. But I have this. It just gave me the same feeling
Yeah.
where you like at the start of the game, it's like there's a couple variations on the pistol, like ballistics wise and laser wise. There's a laser rifle. You have a couple like rifles, and then like assault rifles in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find it's like as you start progressing, you basically find those weapons that just do more damage. Am I missing that completely?
No.
So that's just it. It's the same. It's the same thing. No different name or anything on it, but it's the same series of weapons that are just slightly higher level.
That's what I've noticed. Yeah.
And
I've continued to find the same weapon, but just a better one. I mean, that's just what I've noticed too.
I don't know. It's just, and it's also the thing of I may find a better version of like this pistol or something, but like this, it's like this this auto rifle that has like semi-auto fire on it is still the best weapon I've had since I was level 3.
Yeah.
And it's like I can still use this and kill everything just as efficiently as if I used a slightly higher one until I find this gun again. I have to use this gun.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of problem I had with the combat in Outer Worlds. Of course, and it's like that game, there's nothing hiding the fact it's just the same gun with a slightly different name on it, so that you know it's a higher tier version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But so far in Starfield, there's no additional name to it unless you put mods on it.
Yep. Because
So
that's been every duplicate that I've picked up. It's been that's been that. It's the same weapon just with a mod on it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, it's like I have an Equinox here,
Mm-hmm.
and then I found an Equinox that does 6 more damage. It's like I don't know. It's like that could just be I'm not into the modding part of it yet. I haven't played it enough to find more unique weapons and stuff like that. But it's also one where, I mean, with this, because I know it's an RPG, it's not completely centered around combat, but at the same time, combat's a central part of this game.
Yeah.
And the combat feels good.
Yeah. See, the gameplay feels good, doesn't
The
it? 'Cause
gameplay
I think the gameplay feels great.
The gameplay feels good, but I'm not a fan of
Just the weapon
sorting
system. Yeah.
through the weapons and stuff like that. And so far, like, I don't know. So far, like the spacesuits and that, I've been wearing the same spacesuit like 90% of the time I've been playing.
Yeah.
It's like unless I was to go to a planet where it was like you need this like higher corrosive or higher radiation or something, there's no point chaining off of it because it's like the armor values and everything that I have on it
Yep.
are so much better than everything else.
And the for the suits and stuff, it's kind of similar to the guns where I'll find like the same design of a helmet, but just a better version one because it's like modded or something.
Yeah,
And I've pretty much been rocking the same stuff the entire time.
it's and when I said I had the same problem with it with Outer Worlds, what I mean by that is the fact that I could be. It's like the weapon I'm using could be 10, 15 levels under me, but it's like that weapon still works, and I'm going to continue using that weapon because it's the best one that I've come across so far. So it's like that's the weapon I'm going to use until I find the higher tier version of this specific weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing I didn't like about like Outer Worlds was, I mean, that game was unabashed with how its weapon system worked in that, but, and I mean, it was great for what it was, but like this feels exactly like that, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that because it's all it is okay. I have this gun. This is the same gun. It does twice the damage because it's a higher tier version of it, or it's on my level now. So I'm gonna use this for like the next 15 levels until I get the next version of it.
Right.
where I feel like in a like heavy sci-fi RPG like this, the weapon design could have been way cooler.
I agree.
It's like that's, I mean, and I don't expect it to be like crazy, but it's just one of those where there's not a whole lot going on with
A
it.
lot of substance with
It's
it.
fairly bare bones, and it relies heavily on the modding system,
Yeah.
which is the weird thing about this game. Is there's not necessarily, I mean, there's a lot of shit in the game, but it's all in its own weird little sections.
Yeah.
So it's like you have like your main story, and within that you can go to different planets, but to travel the system, you have to interact with the space building or like the shipbuilding system, even if it's just like hit an upgrade on it.
Mhm.
But it's like to do everything, unless you're like hyper focusing on something, it's just a bunch of systems that kind of work independently. It feels like being put together.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling.
Kind of like a lot of different ideas all over the place, all kind of mashed together.
In a sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean I mean, it sounds like I'm talking bad about the game. I've enjoyed playing the game.
Yeah, that's one thing we got to stress, guys, is like we're just being like, not necessarily in a sense we're being critical. We're just being very open-minded. We're taking a step back. I mean, even though I have not beat the game at this time, I still would give this game like an 8 out of 10. I think by the time I'm done, probably a 9 out of 10. Like, I think it's a great game, and like if you love Bethesda games, like this is a game you will love. Like our friend Jared. Dude, he's gonna probably like if he hasn't started playing it yet. Jared's gonna love this fucking game because he loves Bethesda. He loves Elder Scrolls game. He loves he loves their games. Jared's gonna fucking love this game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like people who love Bethesda games, like it doesn't matter if it's Fallout or Elder Scrolls or whatever. Like you're going to have an amazing time because this is a true blue Bethesda game. I just don't think it's like this next huge step in gaming like they wanted it to be, or almost in a sense made it out to be. But I will say this, and I said it last week. I think once the full support for mods come in next year, I think that could change. I really do. I think mods is what's going to carry. Now, granted, as you pointed out last week, they're going to continue working on this game for years. Todd Howard already confirmed. A couple things, by the way. He already confirmed one, Starfield expansion's in development, but they're going to just talk about it when they want to talk about it. For the Indiana Jones game, he randomly said, we'll talk about it next year. So just a couple little tidbits there. But like, they're going to continue working on the game. But I feel like with mod support and whatever expansions they do come out with to add a bunch of, quality of life stuff, then this game could maybe get to the point where it might be generation defining. You know what I mean? But right now, the base product that was given to us, amazing game. I just don't think it's generation defining. And I certainly don't think it's game of the year. I still think that goes to Zelda or Baldur's Gate.
It's weirdly slow paced.
That is also true.
It's weirdly slow paced for how urgent everyone wants you to be.
Yeah. I agree with
That
that.
doesn't make sense unless you played the game.
Yeah, I agree to that. Also, we did have Shane stop by in chat. I think he may have already dipped out. I'm not sure, but he did drop by and say the U. And that is correct. My Miami Hurricanes looks like they're going to beat Texas A&M. So big shout out to that. Can't wait to chat about that on Tuesday. But no, you are right. It does feel weirdly like kind of slow paced.
Yeah.
I've noticed that quite a bit. Which I mean, I guess I can get it because like even everyone wants to make things out to be really urgent. But like I pointed out to you last week, I don't really feel the sense of urgency for the game because like I just don't feel like there's like an overlooming threat, or like an overlooming like, we have to stop this or figure or do this, or crack this code. Like all we're doing is finding artifacts to solve, just to learn for the sake of knowledge is kind of what is interpreted as, in my opinion. Like there's not like this overlooming threat or this overlooming like with Fallout 4, I have to get my fucking son back, or with Skyrim, it's like I have to. I'm the Dragonborn. I have to do this, or with Oblivion, I have to stop this. I don't get that sense of like that draws me to want to play the main story where it's like I feel the need to be the hero in this situation and stop whatever is happening. It's just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just doing research. You know, I'm just which if you enjoy seeking knowledge, it's awesome. I'm not knocking you, but like I just don't feel the urgency of this game at all. I've only started a few quest lines, so all like the faction stuff, whatever. I've only started a couple of them right now, like the Rangers and the God, I'm drawing a blank on them, but the business on Neon, that corporate business, I'm drawing a blank on the name, but I've started theirs, obviously, and I've been enjoying that one. But to me, there is no sense of urgency, even with the like Constellation, the main story of I don't feel, I just don't feel it. I mean, well, why are we finding these? Just for knowledge? Like we're not trying to, stop some threat from coming or whatever, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm being nitpicky on that. Maybe I'm being a little bitch about that. I don't know, but that's just kind of how I feel about it, is that I don't feel the urgency.
I will say, last week when you were talking about like, oh yeah, you touch the artifact, then you get a vision of space, and that's all it really is. I was like, he's got to be underselling that. No.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
you get
I thought you were about to trash me as if I did undersell it.
You get a like. I guess for each new artifact piece, you get like another 2-second vision of space flying by.
Basically, because I got the other artifact earlier, and it's like a little bit more.
I found one more.
Yeah.
From like, I didn't realize that's where it was, because I went to a planet, and on the planet, you know how like when you have your landing points you can pick from, it highlights. It's like, okay, this is for the quest you're doing. I was like, okay, I'll go to the other one. I'll go to the other one, explore that first, and then I'll go do the quest. No, I'm like, again, exploring another fucking deep mine.
Yep.
And find an artifact down there, and I'm like, oh, wait, why is the quest icon at the other one?
Yeah, I know. I've noticed that too.
I'm like, why is it telling me that the quest is over there when I walked into this mine and the person I'm supposed to come help is here?
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense.
Right. But no, I told you, that's all the vision was. It was just space.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, for as much as it sounded like I have complaints, and it's not necessarily that I have complaints, it's that this game, like Bethesda and especially Todd Howard, way overpromised, in my opinion.
Thank you. They bit off more than they can chew.
I've been saying it for the entire year.
You have been, yes.
But in my opinion, they heavily overpromised on what you can do. Granted, you can
still do a lot. A lot.
It's not even necessarily. It's like if you step back and look at it, it's like, okay, maybe they didn't. What they actually said may not have been like overpromising. It could have been, but like the way they're saying it gets everybody's like interpretations of it, making it seem like it's a lot more than it actually is. Because you can do most of the stuff that they said you could do. It's just a lot of it's not worth doing. Mm-hmm. You can land on any planet you want to and go walk around and harvest some resources.
But it's boring as fuck.
It's fucking boring.
Yeah, it's boring as fuck. Maybe I just haven't found the cool planets yet. I don't know. But the few that I've landed on, they're boring as shit.
It's fucking irritating. Fucking running around and having to stop to let my O2
reach I know. That's more stuff that you can get upgraded, though.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's like, at a base level, it sucks.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And when I say it sucks, it's irritating.
And especially if you get over encumbered, because it drains ungodly quick.
Oh, yeah.
You can walk, and it's draining.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I load up to the point where I'm at my max capacity, and I fast travel to my ship, and I drop a bunch of shit off.
Yep.
And then I go back in.
Yep.
And I finish looting. And then when I get back to like the spaceport, I just load it all up because I can run to the cell station before my energy runs out.
Respect. I will say one feature that I've started to really touch on, 'cause I'm kind of like figuring it all out, that I do really want to dive into more, is the shipbuilding stuff, because I've seen so many crazy builds. I've seen people build the Planet Express ship. I've seen the Magic fucking school bus, the Normandy from Mass Effect, which is what I want to do. Pelican from Halo. I was drawing a blank on the name. Dude, I've seen so many fucking crazy
yeah.
designs, and I'm looking forward to doing that too.
Oh yeah. The thing is, the game is good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not as much as it sounds like we've been shitting on the game. It's just, I mean, the problem is a lot of people are talking about the game and they're only talking about the stuff they enjoy.
Yeah.
It's it's like they're talking about it, but they're not going. It's like they may talk somewhat negatively, but I mean, at the end of the day, the game is exactly what I thought it was going to be, and just the systems themselves inside the game are different than what I expected.
Mhm.
So for me, I got exactly what I expected with this game.
Yeah. And I will say one thing I've been kind of thinking about that will be proven false or true just over time. And I don't mean with just us, but I mean just the community. Is like, is this going to be one of those games that really has that lasting impact for the community where they play for thousands of hours on multiple playthroughs like a Skyrim? You know, because like, can you have a lot of replayability? 1,000,000%, especially with the new game plus.
I was going to say
the
new game plus mode kind of streamlines that.
It does, yeah. I'm just wondering how much this game will stand the test of time.
But for it, just generally, I'm gonna throw this out there for anybody that may not have done it. I haven't done it, but I've watched plenty of videos on it. Explaining it, the new game plus mode will, like it'll wipe all your stuff, or it'll wipe, like if you have a big sandbox that you've been playing in where like you're building outposts and all this stuff. If you new game plus it, that will go away. Just a general warning.
Yeah, fair warning. No, you know, like I said, like you said though, the game is still good. You know, we're just talking about it kind of realistically. I mean, look, opinions. You know, everyone's got them, and this is just our opinion, how we feel about the game. Like, it's still a good game. Like I said, I would give it, you know, still early impression, like an 8 out of 10. Maybe when I'm done, 9 out of 10. But I will say,
This is a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, for you,
this is a game.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I said last week. I understand why people could give it a 7. Yeah. I see it. I get it.
And this is, again, we've said this many times, and it's also it's something that we stress pretty hard. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a 7 out of 10 game.
Yes, we talk about that all the time.
A 7 out of 10 game is still a great game.
Yeah, it's still fine, man.
Just because it's not like, for me personally, it's not a 95 or a 90 or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not a good game. It's like, for me, this is a 7 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I didn't expect it to be anything crazy, and it's not.
Yeah. I will say one thing involving like reviewing games and like kind of giving thoughts on games. I saw something that kind of just irked me a little bit. Is there was a video game podcast. I think the name of it was the Not So Video Game Podcast. Apparently they are like official reviewers on Metacritic, like, you know, not under the audience score. And they gave this game a 65 and dropped the Metacritic score by 2 points. But here's the catch. If you go read their review that they have freaking linked, they openly admit, quoting themselves in the review, that they both play like maybe 5 hours. Like, one guy's like, yeah, I played like one main mission and like 2 side missions. Like, I hate the main city and that's all I did. I'm like, that's so unfair to judge that game. Like, I'm not high on the game, but that's so ungodly unfair to put a hard rating on a website and give it a 65 when you've barely scratched the surface. Like that, I just wanted to shout that out because I think that's pretty shitty.
Well, that's also
shitty.
That's also something. It's like, we don't even really. It's like, occasionally we throw numbers on stuff, but for us, it's more just. I mean, do we enjoy the game? Do we recommend the game and that?
One day I will actually write video game reviews on our website, sparky3.com. I just haven't got around to it. I wanted Tears of the Kingdom to be my first one, but I never got to it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, a lot of times, especially this year.
Yes.
Especially this year for me, I don't give numbers to a lot of stuff because of the fact that if I'm not enjoying something, I'm not gonna fucking play it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Time is limited right now.
I'm not going to sit there and force myself to play 35 hours of a game.
Yeah.
If 8 hours into it, I'm like, I'm not feeling it right now.
Right.
If I feel it, if 10 months from now I'm like, yeah, it's time to go back and play that, I'll play it.
Which is something that you do.
Yeah, it's like I do that. I do that shit all the time. I play games when when I am having fun with them.
See, everyone listening, I want everyone to know this. Give it like another like 6 months, and this man will have completely beaten Hogwarts Legacy and Forspoken and talk about how incredible they were.
Yeah, it's like a lot of games for me. It's like because it's like you know how much I've talked about like Dragon Quest.
11, yeah.
You know how much I've talked about that and how much I adore that game.
Yeah.
I dropped it 8 hours or like 6 hours in.
Yeah, then picked it back up.
And then came back to it. It's been one of the games I hold in the highest of esteem.
Yeah.
And it's like I just do that shit. It's like if
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it, I'm not gonna play it.
See, I feel that because so one of the games, one of my favorite games that I completed this year, and it's honestly become one of my favorite games ever, Persona 5 Royal. When I started it a while ago, and I played like 2 hours, and I dropped it for months, and then I'm just like, let's try this again one Saturday. I was bored, I had nothing to play. Like 100 hours later, oh my god, this game's a masterpiece.
So I had the opposite. I dropped it like 20 hours in,
Yeah,
and then never went back.
yeah.
That happens every now and then.
One day you may go back. We'll see.
I've got it downloaded. I just haven't jumped back into it.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like it's just kind of how we do things around here.
yeah. We just gonna figure it out. Maybe next year will be better. Maybe next year will be better. No, when the time comes, because obviously, like at least for me, I can't speak for everyone on the team. You know, I know a few of the team feel this way, but when the time comes and what we're doing here is our full time, our full time thing, that'll be different. We'll have more time for these games, but we're busy. We're busy, and we also just don't want to beat our skulls against the wall with something that we're just not feeling at the time.
Yeah, it's like if I got a couple hours on Friday night and a few hours on Saturday to play something, am I gonna like force myself to play a few hours of a game I'm not really feeling, or am I gonna go like
Play Baldur's Gate or
or
Rocket League or something,
or like
Well,
Path of
Rocket League
Exile or
is
something
beating your
else.
skull against the wall.
But yeah, it's like I'm gonna go play what I enjoy at the time.
Yeah, I feel you. Because right now, like with what you said earlier about Starfield, where it's not that game where it's like you turn it off and you want to jump back on, that's definitely how I feel. I played it earlier and I felt satisfied after playing it for like 2-3 hours. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm done for the day. Like it's not like how I felt with Persona 5 or Zelda or God of War Ragnarok, 3 games I've recently played, over the last year, where it's like when I put it down, I'm like, fuck, I want to keep fucking playing.
Dude, you went fucking nuts with Ragnarok. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the show before, but like I knew you were buying it. I knew you were gonna play it,
Yeah.
but you fucking fiended over that game after you started it.
Dude,
it
was amazing.
I would just get messages from you that just like with no context. You would just be like, fuck this character or something like
Heimdall.
that.
It was Heimdall. I'm like, Heimdall's a dick.
Yeah, I'd just get a message and I'd be like, yep, he made it there.
Yeah, well, see, for anyone that wasn't listening to the show at the time, when it came out, I wasn't playing it because I knew John was going to play it, and I was playing Sonic Frontiers. So because they both came out around the same time.
And one of us came in after having rolled the credits to our game.
That is true. One day I'll go back to Sonic Frontiers. One day I will go back to Sonic Frontiers.
So that's one thing too. I've like when I'm like looking forward to a game and I sit down and I play it. I've been having a good time with it when it's like it's like, oh, what'd you do today? Oh, I played Ragnarok for 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, I will say the next game that I fully see that being for me is going to be Spider-Man 2. I plan on having a 3-day weekend for that game from Friday to Sunday. And I just love Spider-Man, a favorite superhero. I love the first game. The first game is like my 4th favorite game ever. So I'm very excited. That's going to be a game I'm going to sit down and play for like 10 to 15 hours straight because I fucking love the first game. I've beaten that game at least, I think, 5 or 6 times. Like I love it. It's so good. So I'm very excited for the second game. It comes out in, I'll tell you, I got it on my calendar, 41 days. Shout out to that. 41 days, Spider-Man 2, baby. But let's jump over and let's chat a little bit about Payday because that comes out this month, right? The full game comes out this month.
You're over there. You talking? Spider-Man comes out in 41 days.
Yep,
Coming out in 11 days. Payday 3.
Boom. Nice segue.
Which Payday 3 currently this weekend. Apparently, it was unplanned to do a second test.
Right.
They just kind of did it because they want to ensure that everything's gonna be fine. So it's currently Payday 3 is available for like a beta, and in the beta, there's one mission that you can do, which is it's the basic bank robbery. And in the beta, there's 5 or 6 different weapons you can choose from, and then like you kind of get a peek at what the cosmetic and customization is gonna look like. It's like there's nothing crazy in it, but it could be fun. But Payday 3, it's like if you liked Payday 2, you probably gonna like Payday 3. I will say I don't remember a lot of how some of the systems worked in Payday 2 back when I played it, but it has probably been 5-6 years since I played Payday 2. But when you go in, like the objectives you have to do, like if you wanted to do the bank robbery silent, move. Like there's like spawn locations for them that they move around.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to disable the security or like the security systems, turn the power off, take certain doors require key cards that you have to get. But each run that I've done, you've needed the key card for a different door, or like the power will be in a different location,
right,
and stuff like that. So it's like you can kind of you can once you kind of understand where the spawns are, you can kind of look through it. I haven't done one silently yet. We got decently far into it, and then somebody got spotted, so kind of went guns blazing. And even on a pretty low difficulty, like if everybody's not on the same page, you can get overrun insanely fast, during the mission, because it's like once you kind of get outside the bank and trying to like get away, shit just pops off and it does not stop.
Yeah.
Which has been fun. But the game has been fun. They change. It's like I don't know if they've changed it too much, but like I know when you broke into like in Payday 2, when you broke into like the safe or something, you could lockpick all the safety deposit boxes and stuff like that, or you could cut them open with a saw. And if you did it without the saw, it took forever to fucking open them. Stuff opens up pretty quick. Lockpicking is a pretty simple quick time event where basically a circle is going around and you have to hit it within the correct zone. And if you miss the zone, at least in the beta, you don't really get punished for it. It makes it where you have to wait a few seconds before you can do it again, and it goes kind of slow compared to like actually hitting the quick time event.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they've kind of gone that way with it. But in the beta, AIs like the police AI, some of it's kind of broken. Like though it's like that's not any sort of indication on the final product of the game. It's just there's been funny moments playing it where like cops will run out, like they'll jump through a doorway and then just kind of stand there and look at you. But it's been fun. Like so far in the bank, heist is available in the beta. It is kind of crazy because you'll be sitting there and it's like it'll be like police assault happening, or like they're sending in sabotage teams or that, and it's like you could be looking around and just come flying through a window will be cops. They'll start rushing up the staircases. It's like you'll have like 2 riot shield guys walking up with people flanking behind them. It's like shit pops off pretty quick, but it's been fun. It's like I'm probably not going to play much more of the beta because I was mostly wanting.
You got your taste.
I was wanting a taste. I was wanting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see what it felt like,
Get a little chew appetizer.
and it feels Payday,
Yeah.
which is
that's the important thing.
which is good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because it's been a while since Payday 2, right?
it's been 10 years,
Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, it's fun so far. Like trying to do it silently. There's also if mid mission you can vote to restart the mission. So if everybody votes, like if you get caught and you wanted to do it silently, you can vote to restart the mission, and if everybody votes yes, then it'll just restart. So you can try again.
That's nice.
Tell you, I will say one thing about the game. The menu system is fucking weird.
Okay.
And that's just, I don't remember what Payday 2's menu system looks like. This one is just, it's not the most intuitive like menu system that I've seen.
Right.
The menu system could use a little bit of work, but that's a minor gripe. At least in the beta, there's no VoIP, which be nice if there was, so you could communicate with people, because there's a text chat, but crossplay is enabled, so you can't, if you're on PC playing with Xbox people, you can't talk to them, so, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like we played crossplay, or it's like we were playing crossplay. There was two of us playing, and it's been kind of funny, like, because we'd match up with people that it was their first time, and then we'd match up with people who were like level 20 and were just like speed running around, and the only reason we didn't complete it silently is one of us lower level people who didn't know what was going on and couldn't keep up got spotted. But yeah, it's Payday.
Is this Game Pass Name 1? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then even not on Game Pass, game's only $40.
Okay. That's not bad. That's always a nice entry point.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, I was curious. I saw Zach had put a thing in the Discord a couple days, or maybe yesterday, the day before, saying like he might be able to check out Payday 3, and I was like,
Hyenas, which is another game he's chatted about before.
yeah, which I saw that and I was like, how the fuck are you gonna check that out? And I went and looked at the page. I was like, oh, well then.
Click.
But yeah, it's like I probably did 7 runs. Yeah, probably 7 runs of it. We failed 1. But yeah, I mean, it was Payday. It's fun. It's like the weapon customization is interesting. There wasn't a ton of options in the test. I assume there will be more as you play, because you have like a character level, or like your account level, and then each weapon that you have, you level that up as well. And as you level the weapons up, you get more attachments and stuff for it. And your account level is what allows you to unlock like additional higher tier weapons and stuff like that, like weapons and armor. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I got my taste of it, so I'm like, okay, in 11 days, I'll probably be picking up Payday 3.
Shout Game Pass.
There's a decent chance I'll be picking it up on Steam, though.
Ooh, actually buying this one. Respect that.
Also, it's just easier because like some of my people I play friends with or play games with on Steam, they just don't mess with Game Pass.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
And it's just easier.
Right. I get that. So next we can hit Nintendo Direct stuff. We'll hit that. We'll touch on that, which we're pretty much in the weekly wrap up now. So we'll hit Nintendo Direct, and then we'll kind of just chat, just give kind of thoughts on maybe a state of play happening at some point. There's been not really any heavy leaks or rumors or anything. Let me go ahead and set that up now. It's just something I wanted to throw in there and maybe just kind of chat about. So Nintendo Direct. So apparently there's going to be a Direct this week. We'll see. But the person who claims there would be did correctly leak Mario Wonder and Mario RPG Remake as part of the last direct. So, and he's also done some other stuff in the past as well that's been correct. So he's got his sources one way or another. But he did kind of say there would be a direct this week, and he was kind of throwing out some teases for it. A couple things that he threw out there was a new DK game. And something F-Zero related. Don't know if it's a new game, which I highly doubt. That's not going to happen.
No.
Probably something to like Nintendo Switch Online, maybe. Maybe a remaster or report of like F-Zero GX, but even that, I doubt it.
No, I would assume
Nintendo
like
Switch
Nintendo
Online.
Switch Online.
Yeah. Also said that Princess Peach game that was revealed at the last direct will be in this direct again, maybe giving an actual title, which is kind of weird on Nintendo's part of doing the tease of new Princess Peach game coming next year, and that's all you do, and then like a couple months later do it again, but like actually did you not have a title 2 months ago? Whatever. And also apparently he threw out there will be remakes of a DS game and a Wii game, so that's just kind of the current stuff out there. But the one that's the most interesting to me is the DK game, because this is one that I've been following for like 6 months, of where there was like a new 2.5D DK game in development by the team that made Mario Odyssey. So that A team have, or some, members of that team has been working on this game for a while. Like this is a rumor and leak I've been following for at least 6 months. So maybe we'll finally actually get the full reveal of that, which would be pretty sweet. But we just had that Mario Wonder Direct last week. Feels kind of close range to do another full direct, and I know history always shows over like the last like 6 years, Nintendo always has a direct in September. And I know that Mario Direct was not September; it was August 31st. But like, do you feel like they should even have a direct? Because I feel like we know their fall. Like I understand it would be probably setting up for spring of next year, but like I feel like, in my opinion, a Switch 2 is happening in like May of next year. So I feel like whatever is coming in spring, we'll know in a direct in like January or February. Do you feel the need for a direct right now? Because I kind of don't.
Not necessarily, but at the same time, what else are they gonna do?
Yeah, it's
It's
Nintendo.
like-
It'll raise a lot of hype.
It's Nintendo. Even a subpar Nintendo Direct is still like gonna generate a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
And it's like, not saying this would be a subpar Nintendo Direct. There's not necessarily a whole lot going on there. DK game alone, like if like everything else was not well received, a DK game being announced would be well received.
Oh, yeah.
And people would look at it as a great direct.
If anything F-Zero happened, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
If F-Zero is mentioned, like it's a great direct for people.
Yeah. So it's like yeah, it's kind of close to it. We know like what's coming in that. It's like this could just be, like you said, setting up for beginning of next year or something like that. But it's also one of those where, well, it may not necessarily be needed. Why not?
Yeah.
It's kind of where I see Nintendo out there. Like, yeah, why not?
I think
if we do it, it generates.
I think it may also just because like to help maybe generate like more sales, because even though we are very quickly approaching the next Nintendo hardware, obviously they still want to sell the Switch. I mean, they just showed off the Mario OLED last week. They just revealed, of course, because why the fuck not, a bundle for this holiday with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because that's not original. So like they're still wanting to generate sales, because like I think they finally have hit for the first time in Switch life, like a double-digit decline in sales, because everyone's got one at this point. You know what I mean? It's aging hardware. There's really, unless you don't have one, there's really no need to buy one.
Yeah.
It's aging hardware, and everyone has like 3 Switches in a house for the most part. So it's just like, them just trying to get more sales, finishing up this generation, because maybe they are trying to gun for like the second highest selling console of all time, which would pass the DS. Or maybe they did pass the DS. Maybe they're in second place behind the PS2. I don't remember.
Yeah, the other thing is it's always Nintendo Direct is always going to generate sales, whether it be online, some game that they're some game they're announcing, or Switch sales.
Yeah.
And I mean, on there we've got we see a DS game and a Wii game remake.
Yeah.
Depending on what that is, it's like that. I mean, that alone possibly going to make some sales.
Yeah, exactly.
You mention something gets a remake, and everybody suddenly wants to buy the original.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe, like I said, may have a direct next week. We'll see. I mean, I'm not like super pumped for it. I mean, it'll be cool to see, obviously, especially if we get a new DK game. That'll be pretty sweet. Other than that, it's like I don't know. It's a direct, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, I don't. We don't need one, but
You'll read an article. It's fine.
It's like we don't necessarily need one, but we don't need one most of the time, and more often than not, I'd say when it comes to like showcases, whether it be like Nintendo's version, which is a direct, or then we have like PlayStation showcases and stuff like that. Nintendo probably does the most where you when they announce it, you're like, why? But you always, more often than not, you come away from the Nintendo Direct excited.
Exactly.
In some capacity, whereas PlayStation Showcase or Xbox Showcase or something like that, a lot of times it's like they'll show something, you're like, wait, yeah, what was the point of that?
Yeah.
Whereas Nintendo, you go into it going, what's the point of this? And then they show it and you go, okay, that was the point.
Yeah. One random one that could be on this because it was noticeably not there over the summer during the E3 Dead Week, whatever, is that it may also include like something with Persona 3 Reload because, if you remember, I think it was Play Asia, they had a Switch version up for sale and customer support said, yes, this game is coming for Switch. We have that confirmation. But Nintendo and like Atlas, Nintendo and Atlas have not confirmed that. It still has not been confirmed that's coming to Switch. But a retailer has said, yes, we have confirmation it's coming for this console. So maybe that will finally be. Why they didn't announce it over the summer, I don't know. Maybe just get it a little bit closer to the game's actual release date.
The closer you get to it, if you show it off on Switch, the thing is, everyone owns a Switch. Not everybody owns all the other consoles.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you announce it's coming to Switch, you're going to get a large influx of people buying it on Switch.
Exactly.
Or they're going to buy it on Switch because they want to see how it runs.
That is very true. They just like I feel like it's going to be a lot of people here. I think it's still set to come out in November or October. A lot of people are going to get Hogwarts Legacy for Switch because I think that's actually a hard copy too. I'm very curious how that game's going to run on the Switch.
Terrible.
I'm very curious. That's one of the cases where I might actually buy a Switch version to see how bad it is. I've never bought one of those games where I've been like, I wonder how bad it would run. I've never bought one. Hogwarts Legacy might be the one. Like, I'm so curious because this game's been delayed like 3 times. The PS4 and Xbox One versions, those finally came out a few months after. But this one got delayed out from those, and now it's finally coming out. I'm so curious how this thing's going to run. So I might pick it up. I'm not going to lie. It'll be a piece of history. You already mentioned PlayStation Showcase. When do you think we could see another State of Play? Because, we had that one, back in May. And, we were going into it, we thought it was going to be, an absolute banger. And it was good. It wasn't a banger. But then according to a lot of insiders and reporters and journalists and stuff, that they are saying Sony held back massively. Do you think we're going to get one maybe this upcoming month and maybe see some absolute bangers out of it?
Mid-October.
So basically right before Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either going to be right before or right after because the thing is everybody's already hyped for Spider-Man. Everybody's already going to buy it.
Yeah.
It's already locked in. Everybody's either already going to they're planning on buying it or they've already pre-ordered.
Right.
So it might be right after. But yeah, I think I would say before the end of October, because they've got to throw something out there because we know what they got basically based off of what they've showed us. But everyone always has to do something right before the holiday season,
right?
And
to generate the hype of why you should buy this console, maybe not for right now, but here in a few months, you'll wish you did.
Yeah, it's one of those. Even if it's not necessarily console related, it's like, hey, we got this stuff coming, and also it could also be like, hey, this stuff's coming. Also, all the stuff that we already have. Here's some additional content, just to generate sales through the holiday season.
Right.
So it's like I could see something before the end of October.
I hope whenever we do get one, I hope we get another look at that Rise of the Ronin game, if you remember that one. It's kind of like a mix of Ghost of Tsushima and like Assassin's Creed. It looked really sweet, and apparently from like the reports on it is that it's a lot further in development than was kind of led on. So that's one that I kind of hope to see more on because I thought it looked really cool. That was revealed, I think, a couple State of Plays ago. I don't think it was at this recent one. It might have been at the recent one. I don't know. But no, I could see that. I think you're right. I think October kind of feels right. It just kind of feels like a good time.
It's like it could be beginning. I don't necessarily see them doing it before Spider-Man.
Mm.
But it could be the week after.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I think October might be the play. I've seen some rumors and reports that there was one coming in September. But I'd say September, October, we'd probably see a State of Play. I'm kind of feeling October now that you mentioned it. I think that sounds like a good time. Honestly, I think it could be right before Spider-Man. I think you might be right on that. Mid-October before Spider-Man, have like somewhere mid in the trailer, have a big Spider-Man thing, like one last reminder. Hey, this bad boy's coming out in 5 days, and you're gonna have the time of your life.
Yeah, it's either gonna be that, or it's gonna be right after, and then it's like they're gonna hit it and hit a Spider-Man part during the trailer, and even if it's something as simple as additional mission or something, holiday season.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Man, did you see? I know you're not on Twitter, but I know it just kind of made the rounds in just general video game news. Did you see PlayStation UK's tweet about the collector's edition and just how much traction that tweet got?
No.
Okay, so they put up a tweet about the collector's edition for pre-order, and the way they worded it, which obviously very intentional. They wanted to get traction, and they did. They got over 90 million impressions. Is get yourself 19 inches of Venom, and everyone's just like, 19 inches of what? And it's just like, hey, marketing worked. I mean, they got over 90. I mean, they got more impressions on that joke than they did the actual reveal. The actual reveal was I think 1 to 2 million impressions, and like I said, this passed 90 million. People quote tweeting. Atlas copied them. Atlas put up a tweet of their collector's edition for Persona 3 Reload, and it comes with a statue of one of the characters, and they're like, get yourself 14 inches of insert character name here. It's like, man, hey, good marketing strategy. Get yourself 19 inches of Venom. 19 inches of what? Oh,
it'd be super funny for that to come back to some social media guy.
Yeah.
He's just kind of sitting there. He's starting to type out the official response. He goes, it'd be funny. And it's like he sends it out, and it's like he's in the office getting an ass chewing or something, and then
someone walks in. It's like, boss.
it's like they're in the middle of tearing them a new one, and then someone walks in and goes, "Yo, dude, that tweet is blowing up."
Like, hey man, that was a banger. That was a banger. I wouldn't be surprised if after that tweet they got a shit ton more pre-orders too. It's just people saw that tweet, they saw that joke, and they're just like, I was kind of on the fence about getting this before, but now I want 19 inches of Venom with me.
It'll also just be everybody who bought it after that. It's just they want to be able to take the picture when they get it and post it and go, got my 19 inches.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Oh, great marketing strategy, man. That's peak. It's some peak shit. All right, so one more thing that I'll throw out here just to get kind of thoughts on before we've already kind of technically been in weekly wrap-up territory, but it's not on the script because I just remembered it. I saw a little statement from Phil Spencer talking about Elder Scrolls, where he said that as of now they have not decided if Elder Scrolls will be exclusive or not, and the way he put it is that when it comes to every title that they do with Bethesda and everything, and it's kind of a case-to-case basis. And I was kind of curious your thoughts on that. Do you? Because I've talked about this before, that before Starfield was ever confirmed to be exclusive, my mindset was that will be an exclusive game. It's a brand new IP from Bethesda. Why wouldn't you make it exclusive? But Elder Scrolls, I've kind of been on the fence on, where it's like I could see it being on PlayStation.
They're gonna put that bitch everywhere they can put it.
That's my mindset. It's like, why not put it everywhere?
You gotta look at it. You gotta think of it this way. We've been fucking playing Skyrim,
yeah,
for almost 13 years.
Yep. 11, 11, 11.
And
baby.
it's gonna be several more
Yes.
before we get an Elder Scrolls game.
Yep.
That game comes out, it's gonna fucking sell.
Yes. Like that's a game where I could see it competing with like the GTA 6 in terms of sales.
It's like that game is gonna fucking blow projections out of the water
Yes.
when it comes to it. It's like,
See, that's one that we don't have to question like Starfield. We know that one's going to be a bang.
it's like here's the thing. You could make an exclusive and you could be like think of how many people get on our system because we're doing this. It's like, yeah, bitch, think of how many copies you'll sell
Exactly.
if you put it everywhere.
Exactly.
Because you put that bitch everywhere, everybody's gonna buy 3 copies of it.
Exactly. I mean, I've bought so many copies
It's
of
like
Skyrim.
people gonna buy a copy of it on Xbox. They're gonna buy a copy of it on PlayStation. They're gonna buy a copy of it on PC. Hell, they might buy whatever Switch version's out.
True. True. And based on the Switch 2 leaks we got, that's very possible.
I think just about everyone who's bought Skyrim has bought it 3 times.
Yeah, at least.
At least 3 times.
I've bought it on Steam. I got it on the original 360. I bought it on the Xbox One. I bought it on the PlayStation 4. I bought like whatever the latest anniversary edition was. I bought that.
I got the cool anthology pack.
You got the big one. So I've bought it at least 5 times. I've never bought the Switch version, but apparently the Switch version's great because that's where Josh plays it.
But
but I've never bought it on Switch.
It's the thing of
I will one day.
it's like the game is there is zero logical reason
Yeah.
to make it an exclusive. The only reason you would make it an exclusive is to piss everyone off.
Yeah. Which honestly, after all this lawsuit stuff, they might be willing to swing hands with Sony, man. I'm just saying. But no, like,
Well, you're not even just swinging hands with Sony. You're swinging hands with the whole world.
yeah, no, you are. You are. But no, I mean, I agree with you 100% because, like, again, before Starfield was ever confirmed to be Xbox exclusive, that was my mindset. Is like Elder Scrolls to me, like, it makes too much sense from a business perspective to put that on everything you possibly fucking can and then make Starfield exclusive because that's the brand new IP from Bethesda. Like, that made too much sense to make that one Xbox and Elder Scrolls keep that multi-plat. Just like Fallout 5, I think Fallout 5 is going to be multi-plat. I don't
should be.
I mean, in my opinion, it should be. But Elder Scrolls, oh come on, bro! Like you guys, that's a huge missed opportunity to not make that multi-plat. You know what I mean? Like you're saying that's gonna sell. That's gonna sell like hotcakes. So
Yeah. Nah. I see zero reason why that would be exclusive. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I agree 100%. I just thought that was interesting that he threw that comment out there. Other new Bethesda games in the works, like I could see those being, obviously Xbox on like the Indiana Jones game. That'll probably be Xbox only and PC, so that's whatever. But no, Elder Scrolls, it just makes too much sense. All right, let's continue on with just the weekly wrap-up news. I will hit the Switch 2 leaks and rumors. So this recently popped out in like a VGC article and a few other articles, and I want the record to be known, with VGC reporting it and some of the sources they have. I mean, man, their sources are rock solid, so this is actually pretty sweet to see because, in my opinion, this is like this is really the second time we've ever gotten a leak with the next Nintendo console that, in my opinion, really is affirmative, like good information. The other time is when we had obviously the massive NVIDIA leak, which is, in my opinion, the greatest game leak in history. But they had a private tech demo at Gamescom. They did show off a demo of Breath of the Wild, like an enhanced version with higher frame rate and resolution and graphical increases and stuff. So that's something that we would probably expect. You would expect it anyway. Probably the same thing with Tears of the Kingdom. They did also showcase the Matrix Awakens Unreal Engine 5 demo, which that was pretty interesting to me reading that because I actually played that demo when it came out. It's unbelievable. Because all it is meant to showcase what Unreal Engine 5 can do. So the fact that they showcase that specifically, that's good signs. That's very good signs based on power. Because it's also going to be said to use like NVIDIA DLSS upscaling. So that's also a very good sign. Based on just the general stuff, man, it sounds like Nintendo, they're not going all out. They never have. They never will in terms of power. They'll never try to compete with the Xbox Series X. They'll never try to compete with the PS5. They just won't. But based on a power, like, it really does sound like they're trying to hit a benchmark of like an Xbox Series S. You know what I mean? And it's obviously it's a pretty powerful upgrade for Nintendo. Also, the dev kit's rumored to have 12 gigabytes of storage, which I know is laughable, for Xbox or PS or PlayStation or PC, but for Nintendo, it works. You gotta keep in mind our Switches are like 6 gigabytes, and it holds a lot, and there's a lot of storage on that thing.
The Payday 3 demo was 23 gigs.
Yeah, I know. How they make games the size they do on the cartridges, I'll never fucking understand. I just won't. Shout out to them. But so in Nintendo logic, 12's a lot. In Nintendo logic,
Well, yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
because Nintendo is still Nintendo's not in the digital age.
No. Well, they are.
Nintendo thinks 12 gigabytes is big because that's a lot of space for your save data.
Yeah.
That's all they think about.
Yeah. So
It's I'm so mad.
12 gigs, baby. You ready to get your 12 gig Nintendo console?
Dude, I'm gonna have to buy an expansion chip like I did for my Switch.
Yeah, no, I had to buy one too. Yeah. But either way, I mean, it is pretty cool to see some. In my opinion, I know it's leaks, I know it's reports, but like, man, VGC, man, they got some rock solid sources. So I mean, it is pretty cool to see some more actual concrete information come out about what this console can do. Because that's just the big question: is how much are they going to jump in terms of power? Nintendo also did confirm there's going to be no Tears of the Kingdom DLC, which I'm not surprised about. I'm not surprised about that at all. I feel like it was a perfect game. I feel like it is a complete game. I mean, DLC is always welcomed, but I don't think it's necessary. And they've just said they're already starting to move forward on the next Zelda game. They're not going to worry about DLC. So shout out to that. I'm here for it. But you know what is getting DLC? Final Fantasy 16. 2 paid expansions. Shout out to that. You looking forward to it?
There's a lot going on right now.
I mean, it's gonna be a while.
I know,
obviously.
but it's we're still in the crazy part of the year.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I mean, excited. Yeah, I mean, it should be great.
Yeah. You know what else should be great? Apparently, Redfall. We do have someone on this show that played Redfall, and apparently, according to Pete Hines, head of publishing at Bethesda, he says Redfall will not be abandoned. Shout out to the abandoned game. Shout out to that with my Blue Box Game Studios, baby. But he says that Redfall will not be abandoned and it will, quote, get to be a good game. Do you think it will, quote, get to be a good game, John?
I just love the fact that he's not even like fucking around, because most of the time they would say, yeah, it's going to be a great game. He's settling.
He's wanting good game.
He's settled.
He's wanting good game.
I mean, you put enough patches into a game and it can be good.
Hey, No Man's Sky had its redemption.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you put enough effort into it and it can be a good game. Whether it's gonna be a year from now and nobody's gonna give a shit.
Yeah. That's gonna be the ultimate question. Let's be real, Redfall's not a game. I mean, they're really trying, and it's Bethesda. Like they're gonna do their thing, whatever. But it almost feels like what Square was like really trying to do with Babylon's Fall, where it's like we have all these seasons planned out and everything. It's just like, Chief, you probably should stop on these season planning, because like they had already released season 2, season 3 was in the works. They already confirmed seasons 4, 5, and 6, and I'm just like, Chief, you have like 2 people playing this game on Steam. You need to calm down. You're not gonna get to season 3, let alone 4, 5, and 6. Jesus Christ. Next thing we have is Red Dead Redemption 3 was confirmed by Rockstar's parent company, which of course is Take-Two. The Take-Two CEO personally confirmed it, that yeah, Red Dead Redemption 3 is in the works and happening. I imagine that was one of those things where Rockstar's just like, the fuck? Like, it's obvious we're doing that, but the fuck? You couldn't have let us just fucking, do it ourselves? Like, you couldn't let us just reveal it? Like, what the hell?
It's one of those where it's like, I mean, it goes back to what I've said plenty of times. Stop fucking saying games
stop
are
announcing
coming
stuff
out.
early.
Stop saying stuff's being worked on.
Exactly.
We don't give a shit if it's being worked on. We know a lot of stuff is being worked on. Just because you haven't said it doesn't mean it's not being worked on.
Right.
You know what's cool? When they announce a game and it comes out 4 months later.
Nintendo's the best about that. Now.
I know.
Now.
Nintendo's. It's like when Nintendo fucks something up, and they're like, "Hey, it's gonna come out on this day," and then like 4 months later, they go, guys, we undershot on that. It's actually going to come out 3 weeks after the date we announced. We are so sorry.
Or
They're like, that's Nintendo level of it. They're like, hey, yeah, release date, bang, because they did that for some game. It was like it got pushed by like a month.
Yep.
And they were like, we apologize for this. This is not something that we normally do.
Yep.
And it's like, where's that for everyone else?
Yeah, I know, right? Like Nintendo's only misses obviously was Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4, which we still know nothing about. So one day that game will come out. At this point, I think it's really funny that Metroid Prime 4 was a pre-Switch announcement, like pre-launch. And honestly, I think they may just skip the Switch completely.
It's not coming out on Switch.
I mean, knowing Nintendo, it probably will.
It'll come out, but it's gonna
be the inferior version.
Yeah, it's gonna come out, but it's gonna be like a
Breath of the Wild or
Breath of the
Twilight
Wild.
Princess.
Yeah, like
Both
Breath
of those
of the
were
Wild,
cross.
Wii U, Switch.
Yeah, because both of those were crossed. Twilight Princess was the last game on the GameCube, for one of the first games on the Wii, obviously, and then Breath of the Wild with Wii U and Switch. Which the Wii U version, they really only released it because it's like it was revealed for the Wii U and it just kept getting delayed because they were working on it. So it's like, well, the new console's coming, but we said we'd release it on Wii U, so I guess here's a Wii U version. Apparently, it's good. I have no fucking clue. I've always kind of wanted to play it on Wii U because I always forget it's on Wii U.
I'll bring you my Wii U.
I've got my Wii U. We're good. We do. Give me your controller, and I'd appreciate that. You're not using it, so I'll use your Pro controller. But yeah, next thing we got here
This shit's
is
expensive. You can't have it.
come on, man. You know I'll take care of it. Next thing we have is GTA 6. Also, is talking about Rockstar still. Apparently, GTA 6 date was leaked in a recording with the Take-Two CEO. The announcement is apparently coming in October 23rd, and with a release of October 24th. The audio that has been leaked out has been taken down multiple times via copyright, so kind of leading to believe it's going to be true. And honestly, the date for the release honestly sounds about right to me.
Just want to point out there, announced 23rd or October 23rd, 2023.
Yes.
Released 2024.
Yep.
The way you said it made it sound like it was going to release the next day.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah.
Just clarify.
Yes. Thank you for the clarification. But no, I mean, that release kind of makes sense. One thing that I said before about the possible release of GTA 6, and when I say this, I said this like, we're on what, 145? Jesus Christ. I probably said this like somewhere in the fucking 80s or 90s of Gamestetic, is that there was basically a marketing budget window that came out for Take-Two and Rockstar from like 2022 all the way to like 2027. And it was all like pretty solid budgets, 10 million plus here, like 10 million plus here. And then there was a spike in 2024 and 2025, I think is what it was, where it was like a $50 million plus marketing budget. If that doesn't scream GTA 6, I don't know what does. So I've been on that bandwagon for a while that 2024 at the earliest, 2025 at the latest was going to be the release. And I mean, if the audio is being copyright taken down, that's usually a clear indicator it's real. I mean, I'm just being honest. So for GTA fans, get excited. I did see one random report that I thought was so insanely interesting, and I'm like, there's no fucking shot that's going to happen, is that the base game for GTA 6 is going to cost $150. And I'm like, no shot. No shot. But if there was any game to do that, it would be GTA 6.
You're saying no shot. I'm like, bitches will pay that.
I know. Like, look, if there's any game to do that and make it work, it would be this game. But I cannot believe that would be the thing. But you're right. It's still going to sell. It's still going to be one of the highest selling games ever.
Yeah,
150 is a steep thing.
It would still blow away all day one like releases up to that point.
Yep. Apparently, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is rumored to be in development.
Yep. No surprise.
Shout out. UFC 5 has been officially revealed. We had the announcement, whatever, but we had the official like.
Is there a video to go along?
Yeah, there was a video.
I haven't seen the video.
Yeah.
I really want to watch this.
It comes out October 27th of this year for Xbox Series and PS5. It's first UFC game to run on the Frostbite engine from EA. Runs at 60 FPS. New animations, physics, enhanced visual damage, strand-based hair, revamped submissions with faster animations, and removal of the minigames.
That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. We do have a UFC guy in here.
I want to know how this works.
Yeah, there's a trailer.
It's been a while since I've really been able to sink my teeth into a UFC game. They've been like pretty good. Like the striking has been good. I haven't been a fan of the grappling system in a long time, but I'm interested to see what it looks like now.
Yeah, there's a trailer. Go check it out after the show. Then next up, last two things. There is apparently an animated movie about Stray in the works. Shout out to that. It was nominated for Game of the Year, so I guess that's
I think it's
cool.
just gonna be like the game.
I think so. I really do. Like
It could just. I mean, it could just be like, you know how what was the game we watched with Zach?
fuck.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting over it?
No. The game that he bought that we watched.
Oh, Corey.
Yeah, Corey.
Yeah.
It could just be like an AI like walkthrough where it's like nothing. It's like it's just what happens, and it could be great.
That's what I think it's gonna be. I mean, if there's going to be an animated movie on Stray, it's gonna sell tickets. I mean, I'll go see it. I love Stray. That was a cute little game. I don't think it was Game of the Year nominated worthy, but it was still a good game. The last thing I had, which I thought this was actually really cool. I don't know if you actually saw this, but it's actually pretty sweet. Is Mega Bloks has an Xbox 360 building kit that's been revealed and it's up for pre-order. It's $150 for it, but you can literally rebuild a white Xbox 360 with a controller and a game case of Halo 3. And they even like opened up the 360 and like it has all the actual like components of a 360 that you can build with the Mega Bloks in there. It actually looks pretty sweet. And if you're a collector and you're a big 360 fan, big Halo 3 guy, this might be a little piece of your collection you might want to have. So just wanted to shout that out. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's actually pretty cool.
I haven't seen it, but
it's actually pretty cool.
It's one of those where it's like, I mean, usually stuff like that where it is meant to be a collector's edition item for it or more made for collectors, that shit is always top quality.
Yeah. No, I'll show you once we're done with the show, but it is actually pretty cool. I actually low-key kind of want it. $150 is kind of steep, but it's still pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. But that's all I had for the show. You got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to hit the music. Let's get out of here.
All right. If you made it to the end of the episode, thank you very much. And if you want to catch us do these live, we do them live every Saturday, about 6 p.m. Central Time. So come check us out then.
Make sure to also check out our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up for $5 a month. We'd appreciate that extra support. As well as the extra support, if you go check out some Rogue Energy, use our promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off. Go over to Agent Inc., pick up a jersey, pick up a hat, pick up a shirt, pick up anything. We also have our own merch store, sparky3shop.com. You can also pick up some stuff from. Join the Discord, come chat with us. Subscribe, follow wherever you're listening. We would 100% appreciate that extra support. I will say, we'll see if I'm going to be here next week. I should be. I'm currently planning to be. My girlfriend is very sick right now, and I think I'm starting to get it. So we'll see if I'm going to be here, because also the week after that, I won't be here. I'm unavailable, and then the show's also going to be on a break for 2 weeks after that. So it might be like 4 weeks for me to do this show. I hope not. Hopefully I'll be here next week and not get sick. We'll see. Just want to throw that in here at the end. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.